Hey everybody, and thanks for coming back to my channel to talk some movies with me. So last night I went out to the movies to see The Lego Movie 2, the second part. The sequel to the surprise 2014 hit, The Lego Movie. So I thought I'd make a video about what I thought about The Lego Movie 2. If you'd like to join in the conversation, I welcome you to do so down in the comment section below. Let's get a conversation started. And with all that out of the way, let's talk about The Lego Movie 2, the second part. So The Lego Movie 2 this time around is directed by Mike Mitchell, but Phil Lord and Christopher Miller did come back to help with the story and write with the screenplay. The movie picks up 5 years after where the first Lego Movie ended. After an invader takes Wildstyle and Emmett's friends, it's up to Emmett to take pursuit and chase the invader down to save his friends. If you saw my review for the first Lego Movie, you know that I really enjoy and love that movie. I was really looking forward to seeing what they would do with this sequel. And I'm not gonna lie, I walked out of this movie a little bit disappointed. First, let's talk about what I liked about this movie. The animation, style, and look of the movie remains the same and is carried over from the first film. Everything is still made of Legos, and they still use real-world items in the movie in a way that makes sense. And visually speaking, this movie looks really beautiful. The photorealistic look is also still here in the movie, and for the most part still looks just as good as in the first movie. All the characters are just as much fun as they were in the first film. Emmett is still as much of a joy as he was. Wildstyle still kicks butt and brings a cynical humor that we've come to love from her. And Lego Batman comes back fresh off of his Lego Movie, and Will Arnett does not miss a beat as this character. This character is still just as fun, just as funny, and is still my favorite character in these movies. And the story that our Lego characters are in once again represents a real life situation going on that's happening in the real world. And I thought the situation that they chose for this movie was actually more relatable than the one that was happening in the first movie. However, this does bring me to some of my negatives about the movie. This movie does what a lot of movie sequels do, bringing back more about what was loved about the first movie. However, those decisions kind of hurt the movie for me. They really went overboard and really multiplied on things that people liked about the first movie. Everything is Awesome became a big hit, so they basically make this movie a musical by adding a bunch more songs. Some of which I actually did like, and some of which I actually did find pretty catchy. There's a song about Batman that feels like it belongs in the Lego Batman movie. It feels like it was supposed to be in that movie, but they had to cut it, and so they just placed it in this movie. It was really funny, and I really liked it. But the songs can be one after another, and they actually start to become a little bit annoying and actually not feel that necessary in the movie. Also, the pop culture references and characters in the first film I thought were a lot of fun. But I never felt like they took priority or got in the way of the story. They were just a lot of fun little Easter eggs and surprises along the way. In this movie, it felt like half the script was just pop culture references and inside jokes about what's happening in movies and past movies, especially in the superhero and the sci-fi genre. Which, don't get me wrong, a lot of those can be a lot of fun. A couple of them provided a lot of good laughs and chuckles from me. But I felt like this time around, the pop culture characters and references took priority over the story. I felt like when they were writing this movie, they weren't focused so much on the story as much as they were focused on who can we have in this scene, who can we pull from this scene, what pop culture reference can we bring into this scene, what can we mention in this scene, what can we refer to in this scene. As opposed to thinking of a way that was best to tell this story. And that's the big thing about this movie for me. I just wasn't into this story. Like I said before, I liked the situation that was happening in the real world in this movie, and I do think it was more relatable than the first one. But I don't feel like it was done better than the first one. Because in the first one, it felt so subtle because you didn't really understand what was happening until they revealed Will Ferrell and the kid, and everything just clicked and fell into place. In this movie, they really hit you over the head with what they're going for, and they're not subtle about it at all. In fact, they give away the situation happening in the real world really early on in the movie. Like, I think half an hour into the movie, they give it away. And this was kind of a problem for me because as soon as they gave it away, I knew exactly what the story was doing. It became predictable. I wasn't as invested because I knew how it was going to end. And the story that they used to represent it I felt was very weak, and that made it even harder to get invested in. But like I said, I liked the idea that they were going for. I actually think it was a very natural direction to take the sequel, and it made sense. But I just wish they'd let me figure it out a little bit more as opposed to telling me right away what this story was supposed to be representing. Because to be honest, that really deflated the movie for me. But I'm just guys sitting here talking about a movie, and I'm not going to act like I could have done it any better. You can't say that the people behind this movie aren't talented and creative. There's some really cool and fun ideas in this movie, and a lot of them I had fun with, and I did have a few chuckles and laughs in this movie. Unfortunately, the story that they just decided to tell just didn't engage me, and I wasn't really invested in it, and that's just how my experience with this movie went. I don't think this is a bad movie, don't get me wrong. I think this movie is okay. I think kids are really gonna like this movie. I think they're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I think there's enough in here for adults and the parents to have fun with this movie too. I just didn't think it hit the balance of enjoyment for kids and adults as well as the first movie did, and I think that this movie is a big step down from the first movie. Anyway guys, that's all I have to say about the Lego Movie 2. What do you think of the Lego Movie 2? Do you think I'm crazy? Did you love it? Did you even like it more than the first Lego Movie? Comment down below, let me know what you think about this movie. I'd love to hear your opinion on it, and let's get a conversation going. Guys, thanks again for watching this video and checking out my channel. Once again, my name's Zachary Milne. Thanks for talking movies with me, and I hope you have yourself a great day.